Greetings, good people. I'm back. Thanks for clicking on the video and welcome. It's me, your girl, Royal B, and it is Hot Topics time, okay? As you're coming in, please pay your admission fee by hitting the like button. Drop down in the comments and share your thoughts. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Thank ya in advance. All right. So Ray J is on the lineup, and I'm going to tell you something. Ray J and the internet go together real bad, okay? Because he's always trending for some sort of controversy. This time, he is facing a defamation lawsuit. We're going to touch on that. Bad Bunny, he is going to be performing at next year's NFL halftime show, the NFL Super Bowl halftime show. People have comments about that. They have criticism, and ICE is getting involved. It's a mess, all right? And Metro Boomin, I wanted to give an update because I did report on a story where Metro Boomin was facing trial for some serious allegations, okay? Well, he's been vindicated, I guess. He's been found not liable. I'm going to touch on that, all right? So there's a couple of other topics sprinkled in between. So before we get to the juicy stuff, I wanted to share this with y'all. I thought that this was, I don't know why this had me cracking up the other day. And I saved it and didn't get an opportunity to talk about it, right? So Justin LeBoy, I guess he's like a social media personality. I remember he had like a podcast similar to kind of like Carisha Please. And I don't know what ended up happening with that. Anyway, he posts these funny like little quotes and things on his Instagram and on his social media. And I thought that this was so funny. And it reads, nowhere in the Bible does Eve drive downtown and go put Adam on child support. This type of shenanigans I'm into, okay? And you know, people definitely jumped out in the comments and had a rebuttal. Someone wrote, God also didn't tell him to be a deadbeat father. Just taking the fun out of it. Whatever. What else? Let me see. Then someone is quoting Timothy, 1 Timothy from the Bible, child. Someone else said, it's in there, just got to keep reading. Someone else said, nowhere in the Bible does it say people are baby daddies and baby mamas. You know, there's always somebody to kind of like suck the fun out of a situation. These are good rebuttals, but I don't know. I thought that this was absolutely hilarious. He has some funny quotes on his social media page. All right. So not only, y'all, you ever heard that nursery rhyme, London bridges are falling down? Well, not only are the London bridges falling down, y'all. I know this is kind of corny segue, but whatever. I'm going to go for it. It is what it is. But so are the buildings in the Bronx. Have you guys heard about this this project, I guess? This building collapsing in the Bronx? So a Bronx public housing unit is partially standing after collapsing due to the incinerator shaft giving away. First responders arrived on the scene. This was from yesterday. Anyway, in the morning after the building on Alexander Avenue, shout out to the Bronx, caused a major commotion. Now, per NBC News, officials believe that an explosion inside the building caused the wreckage. It was a ventilation shaft connected to the boiler. We believe that's where the explosion occurred. That's what the fire commissioner, Robert Tucker, told reporters. Okay, so according to building records, there were active violations related to the boilers and several issues that needed to be corrected, of course, before the building could be considered up to code. At this time, it's unclear if those violations had anything to do with the explosion. I'm sure it did. Thankfully, there were no fatalities or injuries reported from the incident. Okay, so we're going to listen to our Latinx sister in Christ explain her experience because she is one of the residents in the building. So let's take a look at a listen to what our Latin sister had to say. Like to hear it? Here it go.
I was in my house when that happens. We feel like the building was moving around. We thought it was an earthquake. So I was so scared and jumping because I don't want to feel that in my foot.
Right.
So by the time we was waiting to see what's going on, my sister-in-law called me and she said, "You inside the building?" I said, "Yes." And she said, "Go out because the building is exploding." Yes, I was in my house when...
Ay, Dios mío. Pero So there you have it. First of all, I'm so glad to hear that no one was injured. However, I said when I first saw this, I said, "Sister, you are crazy." Let me tell you how I would have showed up if NBC, ABC, CBS News put a mic in my face and wanted to interview me. First of all, okay, I would have had somebody in the city find me a gurney or a wheelchair. All right, that's step one. Okay, I would have been wrapped up in a cast. I would have been I would have had a sling on my arm, and just for a little razzle dazzle, I would have had an eye patch over my eye. That's how they would have interviewed me. Girl, you don't get on the news and publicly state that you are. Are you crazy? This is a huge lawsuit. Girl, I would have been all bandaged up. I would have been all patched up with my sling, and like I said, with my eye patch for a little razzle dazzle. But all jokes aside, for real, I'm glad that no one was injured. I don't know. This just seems so freaking reckless. I'm pretty sure they're gonna tear these buildings down. 9 times out of 10, they're going to rebuild, and they're gonna hike up the rent, and they're probably going to be considered quote unquote luxury apartments. Maybe, that's how gentrification usually works. But yes, our Latinx sister basically said that she was all right, which I don't think she should have done. Let me tell you, there's a whole lot going on. Buildings are falling down. The government is shut down. Diddy's going to be sentenced tomorrow, y'all. Today is Thursday, October 2nd, 2025. Diddy's going to be sentenced tomorrow. It's just too much going. Nicki and Cardi are fighting. We're not even going to get into that on this video. But I'm glad to know that our Latin sister in Christ is alive and well. Girl, you should have put some razzle dazzle on that story, yo. You crazy. All right, speaking of Latino and Latinas, Bad Bunny is going to be performing at the Super Bowl halftime show. Okay, so Jay-Z is in charge of all things entertainment as it pertains to the in association with the NFL for the Super Bowl halftime shows. And for the past couple of years, he's been doing a good job. Last year, we already know Kendrick Lamar shut it down. The year before, who was it the year before that? Was that when it was Dr. Dre, Mary J. Blige, 50 Cent, and all of them? Or maybe that was the year before that. Anywho, this year it's going to be Bad Bunny. So Jay-Z, he's praising Bad Bunny ahead of the Super Bowl halftime show. What's LX? What number is that? Anyway, when the NFL and Roc Nation announced that Bad Bunny will headline the Super Bowl halftime show, one voice stood out: Jay-Z, founder of Roc Nation and a key figure behind the halftime show selection process. In a statement, Jay-Z praised the Puerto Rican star, saying, "What Benito," that's his real name, "has done and continues to do for Puerto Rico is truly inspiring. We are honored to have him on the world's biggest stage." So Bad Bunny, in his own remarks, understood the depth of the occasion. All right, so let's take a look and a listen to what Benito had to say after he was honored with the task of heading the Super Bowl halftime show. Like to hear it? Here you go.
I'm really excited, but this is it's making me feel so happy because more than me, for everyone else. I'm really excited for my friends, my family, Puerto Rico, all the Latino people around the world. I'm excited about my culture. I'm excited about everything, not just for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know who he reminds me of? You guys used to watch Power, the OG Power, original Power. What the heck was the guy's name that Ghost and Tommy did business with? The Hispanic guy. He was real flamboyant. He used to call him Jefe. That means boss. He used to call him Jefe. What was his name? Dang, it just slipped my mind. Put it in the chat if you remember, from OG Power, the guy that Ghost and Tommy used to get their work from, their supplier. He used to call him Jefe, and he really liked Ghost. Very flamboyant, well-dressed. He liked the finer things in life. I can't think of his name. It's going to come to me randomly. So a lot of people, first of all, congratulations to Bad Bunny. A lot of people had a lot of criticism for Jay-Z. They had a lot of criticism for the NFL. You know, they felt like he is not a English artist. All of his songs, he's a rapper singer. I guess you can consider him rapper singer. I guess the genre would be reggaeton. People were complaining that all of his songs are going to be in Spanish. We ain't gonna understand what he's saying. I don't think people realize how huge of an artist Bad Bunny is, whether you like reggaeton or not, or whether you like him or you're not familiar with his music. It doesn't take away from the fact that he is a huge artist, and he didn't just come out recently. All right. I know a lot of people don't care. They won't do their homework, won't do their Googles. But this man's shows, like, you think Chris Brown sells out shows. No, this guy sells out shows. I'm talking about large, humongous, large venues, okay? His fans are diehard fans. They love him. He's been in the game for like, what, 4 years now? 3, 4, maybe 5 years. The man has how many Grammys? Regular Grammys, 2 or 3. He has 11 Latin Grammys, numerous awards. His album sales through the roof. He's very, very popular. You know, he's a very, very popular artist. So I think he'll do fine. And I do think that people are going to tune in, especially people who will not get the opportunity to see him in person. Someone says it will be the most watched halftime show in history. A lot of people on social media also talked about going to his shows. I think it was it last, if it wasn't last summer, it was the summer before that. I remember people were sharing videos of them at Bad Bunny concerts throughout the whole summer. So his concerts are like ram packed. So I think he will do very well. And I feel like just because he doesn't speak, you know, the American ignorance is just so bold and astounding. And sometimes I think people forget that there are people who are not of Latin or Hispanic descent that speak, write, comprehend Spanish. Like, hello? I don't know. I don't, it's the American ignorance. Speaking of American ignorance, ICE is basically confirming that they will be at the 2026 Super Bowl, where Bad Bunny is set to headline the halftime show. So ICE has confirmed plans to deploy agents during the 2026 Super Bowl following a public warning from Trump's advisor. Okay, in a statement to TMZ, the agency said, quote, "There is no safe haven for violent, criminal, illegal aliens in the United States." What does that have to do with Bad Bunny? Bad Bunny is from Puerto Rico. And I still, it just really baffles me that there are people in positions like this, and regular everyday people, that still don't understand or comprehend that Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory. Now, if they're talking about his fans, I mean, do you think a lot of illegal, quote unquote, immigrants are going to be spending thousands of dollars going to a public event like the Super Bowl? So out of touch. Anyway, as reported, this assistant of the president, he slammed the NFL over its choice of halftime performer Bad Bunny, saying it's so shameful that they've decided to pick somebody who seems to hate America so much. How? I think he did an honorable thing by not having a lot of shows in the United States out of fear that his audience, his supporters, his core fans, his fan base will be targeted. No, what's a shame is that these humans who behave like animals have been unleashed onto the public to behave like bootleg bounty hunters. That's what's shameful. When did Bad Bunny ever say he hates America? He would be considered a U.S. citizen, would he not, being that he was born and raised in Puerto Rico? Anyway, so yeah, anyway, who cares? So I don't even want to read any of this anymore. But like I said, it's really going back to the criticism that a lot of people had, that I saw online, is that people were concerned about him, Bad Bunny that is, performing his songs in Spanish. And like I said, there are a lot of people who are not of Latin or Hispanic descent that speak and understand Spanish. I know that's astounding to believe. There's lots of black people who speak and understand Spanish. Some people go to school and study language. Oh, surprise, surprise. Okay? I happen to be one of them who understands and can speak Spanish. Para continuar en español, marque dos. See? I'll be perfectly fine watching Bad Bunny at the halftime show. But for a little bit more comic relief, I thought that this was absolutely funny. So people are practicing, okay? People are ready to support Bad Bunny on his halftime show performance. And look at this bilingual king getting down to business. Take a look, y'all.
Hey, Titi me preguntó si no tengo no. Titi me preguntó si tengo muchas novias. Si tengo muchas novias, that's the one. Titi me preguntó si tengo muchas novias. Muchas novias, o tengo una mañana a otra, pero no al boda. Titi oh gosh, Titi me preguntó. Titi me preguntó, yep. Titi me preguntó si tengo muchas novias. Muchas novias, o tengo una mañana a otra. Pero, me la voy a llevar. Me la voy a llevar No. I gotta get it right. Me la voy a llevar tú a mí. No, God, no. How does he say that? He says that so fast.
Yo, this is hilarious.
Me la voy a llevar toda. Me la voy a llevar toda. Wait. I'm bilingual. Toda. Me la voy a llevar toda.
This had me cracking up. So somebody in the comments said we got 4 months to lock in, y'all. Let me tell you something. He's going to get so much support from his own core fans and from other people who are, I guess, going to show support. You know how we are. Sometimes we all can come together and just support for the greater good. I think he's going to do phenomenal. Like I said, I have seen so many people throughout the years talk about how Bad Bunny's concerts were phenomenal. Some people even said that they don't speak or comprehend Spanish, but they had the time of their life. It's the vibe, it's the energy. Somebody said, we got 4 months, y'all, or should I say we have 4 meses. I am so done. I love how black people immediately understood the assignment. I wonder if Bad Bunny saw this and started laughing. We need to see the set list so we know exactly which songs to practice. I can't wait. Do you think that he is going to beat Kendrick Lamar's numbers as far as viewership is concerned? I think Bad Bunny is going to do phenomenal, and I can't wait to see it. Even though I don't watch football, but I do tune in for the halftime shows when it's Super Bowl time. So that's once a year. Okay. All right, moving along, y'all. Recently, I talked about Metro Boomin, who is a hip hop music producer, right? So he went to trial and Young Thug was showing his support. Young Thug was outside of the courthouse while his homeboy was on trial showing support. So there was this woman who I guess he dated or dealt with who claims, that Metro basically raped her, right? And assaulted her. She ended up years later, like after this alleged incident, like 9 or 10 years later, she ended up going to Mexico on a vacation or on a retreat of some sort. And she ingested some ayahuasca. And she said, this is what she said in her court documents, that she recalled that Metro 9 years prior had given her alcohol and a Xanax and she passed out and he took advantage of her. So this case went to trial and he has been found not liable in this trial. Okay, so record producer Metro Boomin was found not liable for assault and battery after a lawsuit filed last year accused him of impregnating a woman nearly a decade ago. After a 3-day civil trial, a Los Angeles jury cleared the hip-hop artist, whose real name is Leland Tyler Wayne. Criminal charges were not filed against him. In a statement shared on Instagram, the 32-year-old St. Louis native thanked God that he could, quote, finally put all this nonsense behind him. Based off of how I treat others and represent myself, never in a million years would I have thought I could be accused of such a disgusting and heinous act, end quote. Okay, so he said that the allegations not only damaged his family friendly brand, but added trauma for him and his family, including his young siblings in school. So Vanessa is the lady's name. She alleged that Metro took advantage of her in 2016 after giving her a single shot of alcohol during a studio session when she already took half of a Xanax pill, according to the lawsuit obtained by USA Today. All right. But yeah, in the original article, she said that, like I said, she went to a retreat, and it brought back memories, of what she alleged happened to her that night. And my question was, how is that enough evidence to go to trial? I guess I don't know, whatever. Well, he's been found not liable, but I will say this. Listen, we don't know what happened. Let me speak for myself. I don't know what happened. She could have been telling the truth, but she failed to prove her case. Okay. And Metro Boomin could very well be lying, or the lady could very well be lying and be looking for money. It was a civil trial, so obviously she was looking for to be paid for her alleged pain. But he's been found not liable. So that is the update on that. Okay. Now, speaking of not liable, let me tell you something. Ray J, he loves a good scandal. And, it makes me wonder if Ray J is either a really, really, really good actor and his specialty is in trolling, or Ray J is somebody that we should really be concerned about. Or it could be a mixture of both. All right. So Chris and them, they're officially over Ray J's antics, and now they're taking him to court. So according to TMZ, docs filed by their lawyer, Alex Spiro, the mother and daughter duo slapped Ray J with a defamation lawsuit accusing him of launching a decades-long campaign against them since his short-lived relationship with Kim ended more than 20 years ago. So the lawsuit claims that Ray J continues to exploit their fame for his own gain. And the last straw was his comments in TMZ's Tubi doc, United States versus Sean Combs, where he suggested that federal RICO charges could be appropriate against Kim and them. He even said, if you told me that Kim and them, I don't say these people's names. This is the first time that I'm reporting on these people, maybe the second time ever in history of YouTube. I don't even like seeing their faces on the screen. I don't report on these people. I don't even say their names. So that's why I'm saying Kim and them. All right. So in this documentary, Ray J says, quote, if you told me Kim and them was being charged for racketeering, I might believe it. So Kim and her mama say those remarks, along with other jabs over the years, have caused substantial and ongoing harm to both their personal lives, and business empires. Their lawyer, Alex Spiro, also spoke about the lawsuit, saying that Kim and her mama have never brought a defamation claim before, nor have they been distracted by noise. But this false and serious allegation left no choice. So they're both suing for unspecified compensatory and punitive damages. I think this family has done a great job on ruining their own reputation. I don't think Ray J is ruining their reputation. So this is a documentary where Ray J was asked about Diddy. So he basically was saying in the documentary, the TMZ documentary, that he doesn't believe that Diddy is guilty of the trafficking crimes and the allegations and RICO that he was being accused of, right? He also said, Ray J, that Diddy is basically his friend and he's been around. So if Diddy was doing all this trafficking and all of this questionable illegal activity, Where was I? That's what he said. I don't want to play it because I don't know how Harvey and them get down. All right. So Ray J took to social media and he basically said that Alex Spiro, who is the attorney for Kim and her mama, reached out to him. So he says that he spoke with him, and I guess he was asking him, Alex Spiro was asking Ray J questions. So the caption on this video reads, I guess Ray J wrote this: Alex, this is what Alex said. Have you talked to the Fed? That's all I want to know. Have you talked to the feds? Click the link, Alex, and come on my Twitch and say that same ish to me publicly. Y'all don't scare me. So let's take a listen to what Ray J had to say about this lawsuit.
Yo, I'm going live on my Twitch. I think everybody's trying to figure out what's up, and I'm gonna let you know what's up. I'm not about to be silenced. I just got off the phone with Alex Spiro, whatever the fuck his name is. Crazy questions he was asking me, and honestly, like, y'all should be super scared because I'm not backing down. I'm tired of it, and I'm not selling it no more for all this dumbass money y'all trying to pay me. Like, the rain is coming, and there's nothing you can do about it. I'm going live on Twitch in an hour, and after I go live on Twitch, America needs to know what's up, and that's a fact.
Now, people were asking in the comments, did he go live? What did he say? Someone says, yes, I caught lives over the past. Okay, that was something. Did he go live? I love when the internet be jumping like this. It's been kind of quiet since the thug call stopped leaking. Very strategic. All of this to get views on his Twitch. Right. Because, you know, a lot of people are streamers nowadays. They want to be self-proclaimed streamers. Kai Cenat has made that very popular among other streamers. So Ray J has a Twitch. I didn't go on his Twitch to see if he said anything because I know Ray J is very long-winded, and sometimes he goes all around the mulberry bush and it'll take forever before he gets to the point. He's easily distracted. You know, sometimes he be engaging in mood-altering substances. It's just too much. Okay? Somebody said they're going to sue until they sue the coke from out of his nose, Lord. Please go away. LMAO, you out of line. Not Chris and Rock Nation's lawyer. Damn, Ray. Side note, Rock Nation sure do be involved in a lot somehow because Alex Spiro is the lawyer. I think that's Meg Thee Stallion's lawyer too, wasn't it? I think that was Meg Thee Stallion's lawyer and Rock Nation's lawyer as well, huh? He's a very popular lawyer. So yeah, I don't know. He could be trolling. He could be trolling. He's it's always something with Ray J. Like, it's unfortunate that we can't take him seriously, but then again, I don't think he cares if we take him seriously or not. Ray J is just gonna be Ray J. He gonna do what Ray J do, and this is probably why Brandy keeps her distance from her brother, because they're on two totally different paths. You know, especially socially. You know, Brandy and Monica, they just graced the cover of Essence magazine. They're both on tour, the Boys Mind tour. You know, nice, clean, classy base image. And then we have Ray J, who's just kind of like the rock star, kind of off the beaten path sometimes, trolling, acting like he cares. He's just everywhere and nowhere at this, going nowhere fast. I don't know. I think Ray J knows exactly what he is doing, and it could be a ploy to get viewers, people to tune in to his Twitch. So I don't know. I think Ray J is just bored. Ray J needs something, you know, something to do. He just be bored. He's just like a kid that you can't leave alone too long unsupervised because they just get into all types of stuff. And then it's interesting too because he didn't mention that his lawyer. He didn't mention anything about his lawyer. Like I said, I didn't see the stream. Who knows? I'm not even gonna go back on Twitch and search for anything. Ray J, just do what you do. Good luck. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's episode of Hot Topics, okay? If you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. I am signing off, but I will be back, and hopefully you will too. So until next time, folks, I will talk to you later.